what's happened with the water tanks is originally you had this tank, and this tank is not a typical hot water tank. It does not produce its own heat. It does not have a burner in it, and it's not electric, and it's not gas. It has a heat exchanger, which is tied into the old floor boiler, the old blue floor boiler. So the entire boiler has to come on before it heats hot water. Now, this is fine in the winter when, previous to what they have now, when the boiler was running anyway to heat the floor slabs, there's just another run of pipe that goes over and heats the hot water tank, which seems like a good idea. Except when you don't need the boiler, like half the summer. You're still running the whole boiler to heat the hot water. So what we found out is we're constantly running out of hot water. This tank is only 90 gallons, 100 max. Constantly running out of hot water. So they added an additional hot water tank, electric for the kitchen, which helped quite a bit. At least they had hot water to do dishes. With the last building improvements, there was various options to go here: on-demand propane. At that present time, we had a fellow in, a geotechnical person, a solar person, and at that time it seemed like electric was the way to go. Power unit of power to BTU of heat compared to propane, our only other source here, there's no natural gas, was 4 or 5 times more expensive to use propane. Now, this was done fairly quickly, and I think maybe a big oversight was made because power's gone up, and recently BC has introduced a 2-tier system. If you use over a certain amount of power, you're bumped into the second tier, and it's not cheaper, it's almost twice as much. So what we did with the hot water system is they added the 2 tanks, and we're also using the old tank. They put a circulation pump. So since how we already had the tank, we figured we might as well just having, these are 80 gallons each. They're heating anyway, and with a simple pump, they can just heat the other 90 gallons of hot water. So, and it's sort of a guess, how much hot water do you need? Like, people were not taking showers. People would get up early to take a warm shower. They were taking turns taking a shower. So how much water do you need? How much water are all these people good? How can you figure this out? We've just about tripled the volume of hot water from what you used to have. So we figured, Greg Lund figured, good idea. He said, let's shut down the kitchen hot water to see if we have enough hot water. Why should we run this if we don't need it? We ran out of hot water in the kitchen, which means the students are using 3 times the hot water than what you used to supply. Now, can you say they're using too much hot water? No. In my opinion, you've never supplied the correct amount of hot water in the first place. So, to try and judge this and base it on, we use this there, now we only have to use this. Basically, it's a necessity to give them as much hot water as you need. But I think the oversight is that you're paying to constantly heat 300 gallons of hot water. We have to also turn the little tank on. There's another 30 gallons. One thing that was done in this reno is that you're plumbed in for a solar panel. Hot water solar panels are very efficient. They're one of the only solar items that they've really improved in the last little while. Power isn't really paid. Geothermal is even iffy. The vacuum solar tubes, even if you can preheat this water, because it's water out of the well, it's cold. Let's say it's 40 degrees. I don't know what it is. this thing warms it up to whatever it is coming out of the tap, 100 degrees. If we can preheat that water in those panels, even 20 degrees, and on warm days with a circ pump, cut this power down, just keeping that 10 or 20 or 30 degrees. That is a ratio savings kind of thing. That, in my opinion, it should seriously be looked at. That's all I put it for the hot water.